Hello, viewers. Welcome to Divine Revelation. My name is David, and I share powerful stories of people who have seen the other side, people who have died, entered a coma, or had near-death experiences. If you enjoy these videos, please consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you won't miss our new videos. Your support helps us grow, and we truly appreciate it.
My name is Father Joseph Moretti. I'm a Catholic priest in a small town in Italy. I want to tell you about something amazing that happened to me on March 14, 2023. I had been a priest for over 30 years. Every day was pretty much the same. I said prayers, visited sick people, held funerals, and listened to confessions. I thought I was a good priest and that I understood what it meant to follow Jesus. But I was wrong. That night started like any other. I had my evening prayers and ate some soup. Then I knelt in front of the cross in my study to say my usual prayers. Nothing special. I hadn't been feeling well for a few months, but I thought it was just because I was getting older. When I felt a tight pain in my chest that spread down my arm and made my vision blurry, I knew something was wrong. I tried to reach for the phone, but I fell down unconscious in front of the cross. What happened next is hard to explain. I didn't wake up in a hospital. Instead, I woke up standing in a strange place. It was silent and gray all around me. I couldn't see any walls or ceiling. It was just empty space. It wasn't peaceful though, it felt cold and wrong. There were no angels or golden gates like I had always imagined. I started to panic. Then I noticed dark shapes moving around the edges of this empty place. I wanted to run, but there was nowhere to go. These shapes didn't talk with words, but somehow I understood them. They told me, "You preached, but you didn't really look for God. You served, but you never truly gave yourself to Him." Just when I was getting really scared, a bright light broke through. It wasn't just light I could see, I could feel it too. It felt like pure love, but also like justice. And then Jesus stepped out of the light. I had talked about Jesus my whole life, but I had never seen Him like this. When His eyes met mine, I fell down. Not because I was scared, but because of something deeper. His look went right through me. It stripped away everything, my priest clothes, my titles, all the religious stuff I had learned. All that was left was my soul, weak and shaking. He didn't need to say anything for me to understand the truth. I had done my duties as a priest. I had memorized Bible verses. I had worn the right clothes. But deep in my heart, I had let routine replace a real relationship with Him. I had gotten good at talking about Jesus without really knowing Him. But He still loved me. He lifted me to my feet with His voice. He just said my name, Joseph. But when He said it, it felt like He was claiming me as His own. I belonged to Him not because I earned it or because I was a priest, but because He had chosen me before I ever thought about Him. I cried. He didn't scold me, but He didn't excuse my behavior either. His love flowed to me, but it was love with weight to it, love that hurts so it can heal. Then He said, "Come, there's more you must see." Suddenly we were moving toward earth. But I saw things differently now. I saw the church not as buildings but as a body that was hurt. Some parts of it were glowing brightly, a nun praying, a teenager reading the Bible secretly under her covers. But many parts were dark or empty. Some places had all the holy stuff, candles, fancy cups, special clothes, but they felt hollow, like Jesus wasn't really there. Then He took me to Rome, to the Vatican. But I didn't see it like tourists do. I saw beneath all the marble and gold. I saw spirits whispering to church leaders. Some bishops cried alone at night. Others were full of pride. Some cardinals were truly looking for God. Others just wanted power. Then Jesus showed me Pope Francis. He wasn't in the big church. He was alone in a small chapel, kneeling and crying. His back was bent from all his troubles. I saw invisible chains on his shoulders, chains made from people's criticism, lies, betrayal, and tiredness. People called him names like liberal, heretic, and coward. Each word hurt him like a thorn. But through it all, he prayed, "Lord, help me love them, even the ones who hate me." I felt ashamed because I had judged him too. From far away, I thought he was too soft. But in this vision I saw the truth. He was fighting battles no one could see, battles of the spirit, not politics. Jesus turned to me and said, "This is not about him. It's about what comes next." I was shown the Sistine Chapel where they choose the new pope. I saw lots of cardinals in red robes, but I didn't see votes. I saw their hearts. Some hearts glowed brightly with prayer and truth. Others flickered with fear. Some looked shiny but were empty inside. A few were completely dark. One heart stood out. It glowed with kindness, gentleness, and suffering. This person had seen pain and had helped the poor. His prayers reached heaven not because they sounded good, but because they were sincere. I think it was Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle. Jesus said, "He could help heal, but only if he stays humble. Only if he remembers that being pope is not about having a throne. It's about carrying a cross." Then Jesus looked at me deeply and said, "There is more you must speak, but not now. Return." I woke up in the hospital. The machines were beeping. The nurse almost dropped her clipboard because they thought I wouldn't survive. But I came back. My body was weak, but my heart was on fire. For the first time in my life, I didn't just believe in Jesus. I knew him. And I knew I had work to do. The doctors told me I had been clinically dead for several minutes. The nurses were amazed to see me awake. The next few days were filled with medical tests and whispered conversations. But while my body was healing, my soul was burning with what I had seen. When I went back to my church, I told my congregation what happened. As I spoke, something amazing occurred. The stained glass window behind me, the one showing Jesus with his disciples, suddenly lit up with the brightest sunlight, even though it had been cloudy all day. The colors danced across the church floor, and everyone gasped. It felt like Jesus himself was confirming my story. Some people cried and thanked me for sharing. Others avoided looking at me, like they thought I was crazy. Some wondered if the near-death experience had messed up my mind. I tried to tell other priests, bishops, and even sent letters to the Vatican. Not many responded. The church leaders seemed unsure about my experience. But I didn't give up. I started prayer groups and asked people to pray for the cardinals who would choose the next pope. People from nearby towns joined us. One night during our prayer meeting, a small boy named Marco who couldn't walk came with his mother. As we all prayed together, Marco suddenly stood up from his wheelchair. His mother screamed with joy as he took his first steps ever, walking straight to the altar. Everyone in the church fell silent, watching in amazement. Marco turned to us with the biggest smile and said, "Jesus told me to get up and walk." This miracle made our prayer group famous, and hundreds more people joined us. As news spread, I was invited to speak at different places. Young people especially liked hearing about my experience because they wanted something real in their faith. Not everyone was happy though. Some people accused me of causing trouble. I got anonymous letters telling me to stop. Even other priests were divided. Some supported me while others stayed away. One evening after praying, I sat alone in the chapel. As the candle light flickered on the cross, I felt peaceful. I remembered Jesus' words about choosing the cross over the crown, and I realized that sharing this message was my cross to bear. When the time came to choose a new pope, our prayer groups prayed harder than ever. On the night before the decision, I had another vision. This time, I saw a golden dove flying over the Sistine Chapel. The dove circled 3 times, then landed on the shoulder of one cardinal. I couldn't see his face clearly, but he was surrounded by a soft blue light. When I woke up, my room was filled with the sweet smell of roses, even though there were no flowers anywhere. Finally, white smoke came from the chapel chimney, showing a new pope had been chosen. He stepped out onto the balcony looking peaceful and spiritual. In the days that followed, I watched him closely. He emphasized being humble, helping the poor, and creating a church based on love and service. I can't say for sure if he was the one Jesus showed me, but I felt hopeful. Looking back, I understand that my experience wasn't just about the next pope. It was a call for all of us to get back to what our faith is really about, to be holy and to support our leaders through prayer. To everyone reading this, try to have a personal relationship with Jesus. Pray for our church, its leaders, and each other. Let's be the faithful, humble, and prayerful community that Jesus wants us to be.